This is Chris from the Intermountain Herbarium, and today we're going to be showing you folks how to mount specimens properly. Alright, and to begin with, go ahead and open up your newspaper or wherever your specimen's held. Make sure that the label is with it and the specimen is pretty well good shape. Go ahead and stamp your University Herbarium logo on it. That way, if you ever send it out on loan, it'll show where it came from and it makes it easier when you send it back. To start, go ahead and orientate your specimen on your archival sheet to make sure it's properly centered. You want about 2 inches around the border to make sure it's nice and framed. And if it's clumped together, go ahead and pull apart the stems gently. That way you get to see the majority of the specimen and it's not too cluttered together. Once that's done and you have it well orientated, go ahead and get your label glued on there. We here at the Intermountain Herbarium only glue across the top part of the label. Some other universities in herbaria like to do it on the left side. We personally do this here across the top. It makes it easier for if we ever to reprint it, or if the wrong label's on there, it makes it easier to remove and put the new one on there. So go ahead and put that on. You see here, only the top is glued down. Just go ahead and firmly press upon it. Next, you will double check your specimen before gluing to see which side looks better and which side would be better to look at. And go ahead and start gluing across the stems, the leaves, and the flowers, any parts that'll really be able to be glued down. And we'll go ahead and speed this part up here in a second. Alright, now you go ahead and center the specimen as best as you can how you had it oriented originally. Make sure all the stems are nice and shown and you have at least the bottom and top parts of the leaf shown as best as you can. That way when someone has to go, if they ever look at it again, they'll be able to see all anatomic parts that they might need to identify it. Once that is put down onto the paper with glue on it, go ahead and put some sort of weights on it. We use washers here because they're really cheap and inexpensive. And go ahead and put it on there. Make sure it's not touching the glue. That way, once it's done drying, you don't rip any parts of it. And once it's done mounted, go ahead and put on the weights on there. That way it firmly holds down the specimen. And now we'll be putting on a unique barcode onto the specimen. That way when we're databasing, it can just quickly scan it into the system. We like to put them on the bottom center because no reason really besides just looks better. Now we'll be moving on to repairs. Repairs can either be damaged specimens or just things that have mixed collections on them. For the repairs that are slightly damaged, just go ahead and re-glue it as you would mounting. For mixed collections, as this allium here, it has 2 different specimens on it, so what we like to do with that is carefully cut out the mixed specimens and mount them on their own specific archival sheets. So this one on the left is from New Jersey, I believe, and the right one is from Utah. So we'll go ahead and cut it out very gently, making sure we don't damage the specimen. That way we don't have to do 2 repair jobs. And after that, we'll mount it onto a new archival sheet with its own barcode. And the same goes for this. Instead of gluing the specimen, since you have archival sheet on the back, go ahead and glue across that. And the same as you did with the actual specimen mounting, go ahead and put some weights on it. That way it glues firmly to the archival sheet. Now I did miss a step on here, but you would also want to stamp your University Herbarium symbol on the top left as you would with a new sheet. Now due to them having only 1 label, you'll want to go into your database and print out the separate label and give them unique barcodes. I kept the original note on there with it. That way when we go to actually print the labels, we know which one goes to which. So So here, this one, I could have left the label with it. However, since it looks pretty nasty how it is, I decided to cut it out entirely and remount it and give it a new unique barcode. Go ahead and center the specimen onto the sheet, glue the entire back, and once that's on there, press firmly and weight down with some washers, weights, or however you choose in your herbaria. Here we have the specimen labels printed out, and so we'll go ahead and put on that brand new label of it, and also make sure when you reprint them you put on it was from a mixed collection and your label has been reprinted. And once the mounting is done in repairs, we go ahead and set it on our drying rack or mounting rack, whichever you want to call it. That way the glue sets. We usually leave them for 24 hours, and after that they go into our databasing phase. And that has been our mounting video. Thank you for watching.